You can use the functions called properties and methods to view the names of the properties or the methods for an object. The dot operator can be used to display or modify property values. The dot operator can also be used to call ordinary methods. Remember that these are the functions, but not the constructor functions, as we'll see next. Ordinary methods perform some operation on at least one object, and possibly also other input arguments. Let's say that we want to add the x and y properties of an object to another number. We could add the following function to the methods block. So my function definition, the header has an output argument, and we're passing two inputs to it. One is an object, and the other is another argument, which is a number. So notice that we're assigning to the output argument the two properties of the object, the x and y properties, obj.x and obj.y, and the argument. So we're adding three numbers together, the x and y properties of the object and the other number. Now, there are two ways that this ordinary method could be called, meaning two ways in which you can pass the object to the ordinary method. You can do it explicitly by passing the object in parentheses, so calling the ord method and passing an object and a number. Or you could do it implicitly by using the dot operator. So you say your object dot ord method in parentheses just the number. So it's important to understand that when you do that using the dot operator, you're doing exactly the same thing as the other method. So in other words, you're in both cases passing both the object and the number 5. So they do exactly the same thing. When you have your own class, an assignment operator is created for it by default, so that you can assign one object of the class to another. And this is done member-wise, meaning, for example, if you have two properties x and y, it assigns the x value to x and the y value to y. So the assignment operator is automatically created for you. But other operators, such as the less than sign or plus, those are not defined automatically. And this is a huge power of classes, that in the class definition, you can define the operators to do anything that you want to. So recall that all operators have functional forms. So for example, instead of just using the plus sign, you can use the plus function. So instead of saying a plus b, you can say plus in parentheses, pass both a and b. Those are completely the same thing. So when you write your own function for a class with the same name as a function that exists already, this is called overloading the function. And we do this frequently for the functional form of relational operators when we define our own classes. So this is a really cool thing that you can do with classes. So let's say, for example, you have a rectangle class and you have properties for the length and the width. What does it mean for one rectangle to be less than another? You have the power to decide what that means. Does it mean the length has to be less than the length and the width has to be less than the width? Or could it be based on the area? The area of one is less than another? It's completely up to you to define what the less than operator does. Another function that is frequently overloaded in writing your own classes is the disp function. The disp function is used to display properties of an object whenever an assignment is not suppressed. So by overloading the disp, you get to control the format of the display.